Weird. I wonder why it had me muted. Anyway, good morning, guys. Welcome to the Coffee Run. It's John from ProCraps. I'm back from Vegas. We got hopefully a fun show for you today. But let's get started here with the daily paycheck. Let's get rolling here. My mouse has to come over here. I got to change the stats. We're going to go to the daily paycheck casino and look at our DPC second run stats. I think we are 11-3 so far. Booyah! I had a little loss, I think, last week towards the end there. But let's get after here. Do a normal paycheck, and then we're going to start talking about different ways to play. I think I got some pretty good ideas here for us this week to talk through based on some experiences over the weekend and some talks that we've been having over Craps Chat and that kind of thing. So without further ado, I'm going to go after it. We're going to go hopefully make our daily paycheck here. Again, we got $5,000 as our budget. You'll see that the session buy-in's $5,000. Our session goal is $500. We're trying to turn $100,000 to $200,000. $500 a day. This is just going to be getting up, going to work, going to the casino on the way to work every day, as though I lived there and we're trying to make a side hustle. So here we go. Let's get after it. I'm going to go to the screen, not the box screen. We're going to go to the daily paycheck screen. We're going to turn that light on that table, and we're going to get after this thing. Let's do it. I'm going to turn Crapsy on, and if you're playing along with me in Crapsy, here's the rules. I'm going to get this screen turned on. We got to refresh the Crapsy screen. Oh, no internet. What? Hold on. Give it a second to find itself. I did turn my computer off while I was making coffee. So if you're going to play Crapsy along with me, here's the rules. You've got, and the live table will kick off here when I press this button, if it ever comes up. You've got the same $5,000 that I have. There's the ProCraps Daily Paycheck start. Okay, I'm starting that screen up right now. Bam, bam, there we go. You got $5,000. There is, I think I set it to unlimited buy-ins, unlimited rebuys, but really, I want you to play along with me as though you were me, right? Like you can play your game, I guess, right? But put yourself in my mindset. Put yourself in the mindset of somebody who's coming out here with 5K, looking to win about $500. Kind of, you leverage that big bankroll, right, to win something decent that you're willing to walk home with every day. It's very, very hard to do that. And remember, I might only be here for one shooter. Right, so this Crapsy session you're about to jump into with me is not going to be a long one. Hopefully it's a very short session. I can get in and get out quick. Let's take $500 out of our rack. We're going to start our first bet, like we always do, like I always do, with the Horseman. We're going to go $500. I'm going to go 200 on the don't, and our 3 come bets. That's how we do it here. Now I'm actually going to change that today a little bit. I'm going to make the come bets $50 instead of $100. I'm going to take a black and make it look like greens. We'll do 3 $50 size come bets, and the reason for that is that we will do we'll take the odds. Instead of doing 100, 100, 100, we'll do 50 and odds, 50 and odds, 50 and odds. We'll make all the math guys happy today, okay? It is a Matthew Monday after all. I will hammer the don'ts. If I catch a come out winner, I'm gonna beat that thing up, right? If I catch a come winner, natural, I'm gonna beat that thing up too. We're gonna play it aggressively, just $500, just to get my throw warmed up, and then we'll jump in and play more what you might call normal crap. So anyway, with all that said, here we go. I'm going to press the button to get everybody's Crapsy locked in. I'm going to do my breathing exercises, and then we're going to go. You ready? Here we are. I'm setting the hard ways, by the way, which means I'm probably going to throw a you-know-what on the come out, just because I have to take my bets down. Here we go. Coming out. What a lovely toss. It is as predicted, 5-2-7. You know I do this to myself every day, right? I come out with that come out 7 off the don't, and it is what it is. I'm actually going to go ahead and buy back in 5-2-7. Hold on, let's get that tight. 5-2. I'm okay with that result. I'm going to lose this here. I am going to take another $500 out, and just to get the blacks and replace the bet. I normally don't do this with the Horseman. I normally just play it straight up, but I do want to get set and have an aggressive run. I think we can make that back with an aggressive run here. So. All right, there's our 5-2-7 on the come out. I think it should be marked. And here we go. Coming back out. Come on, Johnny. Get her done, man. Get her done. That's another awesome throw. It's a 6, 4, and a 2. Let's mark that guy up. We'll type that ding. 426 is in Crapsy. 426 is in the roll tracker. And now we get going. We'll do 3 come bets. And if I 7 out here, I do not care. The Horseman's designed for the short 7, as you know. Hopefully, we don't have that, and we have a nice long run, and the come bets will take care of us on a long run. So we just don't want to buckshot ourselves. That's the big thing. We don't want to buckshot. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. How's the chat going over there? It's the Alfredo effect. I'm not sure what that means, but was Rodgers injured? If you guys are talking smack about the Packers. The Packers actually, I mean, we can talk about this. Chris was at the game. One of those weird games where, oh boy, it's a 1-2-3. Talk about pickoff central today, huh? 1-2-3, lose my comeback? Good gravy, John. Just getting ourselves destroyed. Watching that game as a fan, right? Because I wasn't there. I'm not sure how Chris felt about it when he was there, but I never felt like the Eagles were going to lose that game. Like they were in complete control every step of the way in that game. However, you let a bad team hang around, and that bad team will get you, right? We know this. And I think they gave them. There was a minute there where I was like, you know what? You're going to outplay this team, and then you're going to lose to them. And that was potentially going to be a thing. So luckily, they held on and pressed on in the end there. But there was a second there where I was like, God, you outplayed them the whole time. Green Bay was never really in that game. Never in that game. From the first play, they were never in that game. It's a 4-1-5. But I'm like, God, are we going to let this happen to us? I've seen that movie before as an Eagles fan. And as a Seahawks fan, I've seen that play out. All right, there's our first comeback. It's set on the 5. Second one's coming through. You got a 4-1-5. We are on, that's right, 7-6-3-5. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Whoops. Comebacks on the way out. Crap, see, got to press that button there, dealer. All right, here we go. No more bets. Come on. Come on, baby. How about an 11 yo to get back that one? Hey, look at the. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Hold on. I'm going to post bet this because I forgot what I was going to do. We are 50 with odds. We should be on odds. All the comebacks are going to be $100 total comebacks, 50 plus 50. I just was talking too much. I forgot. So there's odds on that bet. This is going to be an off and on. Off and ons work like this. Down with odds, right, means this. The comeback moves. The bet pays 50 and 75. The 50 goes back on top, so you're always down with your bet plus the net win. That's how these off and ons work, all right? So there's our little payment on that one. That helps out. We'll come back through. Next comeback. Here we go. And I got to put odds up there too. I see. Oh, the odds are already on it. Okay, there we go. Odds are up. Did I type in the 5? I guess I didn't type in the 5. 3-2. 3-2. Good to see a little repeater in there, huh? All right. Let's go. Chris, how'd you feel about the game? I'm trying to read chat there. Stadium was nervous. Green Bay had their receivers. It might have been tighter, right? It might have been tighter. The Eagles offense, they started out like easy peasy, right? Barkley was ripping off 6, 7, 8 yards, and then they went away from it. And I'm not sure what happened there, but they went away from it. The line just, I don't know. No, Green Bay played well. It's just they just don't have the talent to match up, you know. And that's, again, a lot of that's injuries, like you say. That one dude, Chris, I'm sure you didn't see it, but the one receiver that banged his head in the end zone, they showed him on TV, and he was not a happy camper, man. That guy could barely walk off the field, and in the locker room, he was hanging on, man. All right, there's our second comeback. Goes to the 9 with odds. Now that's 3 comebacks. That was it. We made one, got set, it got hit. The second comeback was the one that replaced it. The third comeback's here, so we're done. We don't keep 3 going. It's 3 total. Now we have the 10 rather, and the 5. That's our 2 comebacks, and there's our don't pass down the bottom. So 7 out here ends up being a tie from the board. Maybe we can rip out a 5 or a 10 though, huh? What do you think? Let's see, 6-4. That 10 did not register in the roll track. Roll tracker is like losing its connection for some reason. So we had a 5, another 5, and then we had the 6, 4, 10. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's catch that 5. Let's catch a winner 5 here. Looks like a 5, a 4 and a 1. Look at the 5s, man. 5s are paying Johnny. 4, 1, 5. I love it. I didn't press the button for Crapsy to lock you out. Just give it a second. There's a 4, 1. Sweet. And it's going to come down. That's a nice little win right there, right? That's going to pay 50 flat and 75 on the odds. That's an okay little win. We'll let that 10 and the don't pass right out. Now with 200 bucks on the don't, now that I've won a little bit, I will cover that hard 6, okay? And again, at 9 to 1 on the hard 6, that's 2 1/4 over here, right? Versus 200. So if I catch a hard 6, it covers up my don't. I'm willing to risk that $25 because I won in the come. Now here we go. Let's pop out a 10. What do you think about popping out a 10, huh? Let's go. It's an 8. I saw that I rolled it over. That was a 5-3-8, not a 3-3. A 5-3-8. That would have been pretty fun to call my shot like that. A 5-3. All right, here we go. Where was this roll when I was in Vegas? That's my only question. Where was this roll when I was in freaking Vegas? I could not throw this weekend. I had one. Actually, I'm lying. I had two really good rolls the first time I played. After that, it was one-hit wonder special all weekend for me. Here we go. I gotta press the crapsy button. All right, coming out. Let's go. Give me a 5-5, baby. 5-5. 5-5. There's aces in both places. The 1 and the 1. That's a 1-1. Looking like we need a 4 for the small. Is that right? Just a 4? Who's hopping it? I know Gargoyle's hopping that for a minute, right? Can lay the 4 if you want to. All right, here we go. Give me a 10. 10 or a 7, I'm happy. There's a 7. That's fine. We took a 7, which means because that 5 paid, we have a little bit of profit there. Not a lot, but that's a 6-1-7. We'll lose 1 1/4, right? We lose the $100, the $50 base, the $50 odds, and the quarter we had in the hard 6. But we're gonna win $200 on that don't pass. Let's do a quick little recap and see where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the first starting one. That's the 200 that I rebought in for. Okay. So I did make a profit of 1, 2, 3, 75 today. Right? Let's get this all reset. There's 500. 1, 2. There's 500. Did I lie? 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. So I'm sorry, profit is 75. 75, not 275. All right, so we have $75 in profit. Got ourselves warmed up. Let's rock it out. Let's go ahead and play. Let's play it out. Let's do our next little quick gambit here. Let's take, now that I'm warm, we'll take that same dice that I was using, which seemed to work okay. Let's do our Dallas drawdown in honor of the Cowgirls. There we go. It's going to be 1,800 across. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and $300 on every number with 200 change. Let's go. Puck's off. New shooter. New shooter, last shooter. We get it here or not, we'll be last shooter. So if you're in Crapsy, this is your signal to go all in, right? This is your pedal to the floor signal. Last shooter, they're closing the table down. It's a cruise ship. We're closing down the table. Here we go, coming out. Booyah. We got an 8 on the come out. We got a 5 in a tray. Mark that up. 5, 3, 8. And here we go. We need our 2 shots, right? Our 2 hits. 2 good rolls by your boy here. 2 good rolls, all we need. Roll tracker didn't pick that up. Hold on a second. Bam, bam, 5, 3. Alrighty, here we go. Ugh, ugly throw. It's 11 yo, 6 and a 5. That second die was not a good one. Little high bounce there. Get the that typed in as 6-5. Okay, here we go. So looking for our first hit. All righty. Let's go. That's better. To 7. Damn it, Johnny. Looking good. Look, every time I say looking good, it's a frickin' 7, isn't it? 5-2. 5, 2, 7. All right. Well, maybe we should do one more shooter. That was too quick. I got to give you guys a chance to make some money. I'll give you a chance to make money in Crapsy. Here we go. We'll do one more shooter. One more. $1,800 out there. I'm going to put $1,800 on my rack. We're going to rail dump it. There's $2,000 out of the rack. $200 and change. We brought the bankroll for a reason. Let's use it up. Here we go. We'll do multiple hits coming down now. We'll do probably 2 at each level. I might even do a press then regress and a press then regress. That's what I'll do. I'll do a press regress at each level. Let's see what happened there. Did Roll Tracker take it? Hold on. We got to come out here. Yeah. Get your bets back in. We will come out for one more shooter here. That was a PSO. Not good. All right, here we go. Just because I can't let myself end on that. Can't stop a show on a PSO, right? Come on, here we go. Coming out. That puck should be off. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's a 7. Come out 7. Boy, the 7s are coming right now. Whoo, baby. They were gone for a minute, and they are back in force. 5-2. Pull that off. Wowie, wowie. All right, let's go. Let's get that typed in. All right, here we go. Coming out. Oh, land on top, 5-3-8. Good throw, though. All right, here we go. The point's going to be 8. It's going to be a... Wow. Grabsy's locked. What's going on? My internet go down? 5-3-8. 5-3. Let's see what happens. All right, there it is. It's in. Get those bets in quickly, guys. I'm going to make my paycheck over here. Let's go. 1, 4. Let's stay out of the red zone. Stay out of the red zone, idiot. Come on, let's go. Oh, not a great throw, but it is a hard 10. It's a 5 and a 5. That's goodness. That's goodness right there. 5-5. Let's get that typed in. 5-5. Now I'm going to press and regress here. So that's going to pay $600. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to press the 6 and the 8 to 600 each. I'm going to put it on the inside. Maybe we catch one of those two. I could go. Actually, what I could do is I could do. Let's do this. Let's actually not do that. We'll go 450, 6 and 8. I'm going to take $100. And we'll go 450 because that'll pay 5 1/4. We'll take the 5 and 9 to 400 each, and I'll take the last black and put it right back on the one that came. That's it. We'll get them all pressed up a little bit. I'm going to bring them all down on the next hit, but that's what we'll start with. Here we go. We got to get multiple hits to break out. When you lose money, right, that being behind feeling, you either got to play the way you were going to play or you got to leverage up the wins, right, to make up for it. Instead of just same betting and regressing, I've got to press up to pull down here. So hopefully we can stay out of the red zone. Do it, dude. Let's go. Let's go. Ah, didn't matter anyway. Another PSO, 527. So we lost the whole bankroll today. Awesome sauce. That's so cool. 5-2. Not a good day, and it kind of sums up my weekend, actually. Let's turn the light out. Come on over here and chat for a minute. Yeah, that was pretty endemic of what happened over the weekend. I couldn't get out of my own way. Like I had a couple of good throws, and then I just couldn't get out of my own way. And it was just kind of one of those things where I'm not feeling it. And today is a good example of just, PSO will get you, right? I can talk shit all I want about, how easy it is to win with the drawdown and how 2 hits is easy to get for the most part. And look what happens, right? Some days you just get done, right? So my goal here today would have been to press up on that first one, right? And then draw down off the higher bets. And then at the next level, press up on the first one, draw down on the higher bets, right? We would have reduced our risk. But hey, if you can't throw 2 rolls, you don't deserve to be making those big bets. Anyway, let's get after it here and talk about the weekend a little bit. I got a couple of things. I'll talk about it in a minute, Leon. The live bubble craps kind of happened and it kind of didn't happen. I'll explain to you in a minute. As far as the trip report goes, here's what happened. We did a thing called The Bridge. I was in Vegas this weekend to do a seminar with Daddy David. I'm going to talk about that in detail in a minute, but the report is it went well. It went really, really well. It was the first one we ever did. There was Dice Dr. Dan was there. He can report to you in chat how he thought it went too. We had about 20 people, I think 18, 19, something like that people. Small group. We did it at Casino Quest in the training center area. Not big enough group to go to a casino and use their conference room yet. I think February's is like 40 people. And I think March is like 60 or something like that. So we'll probably transition the thing over there for future runs. But we got our feet wet with David doing the PowerPoint presentation on the bridge. I'm jumping in here and there, kind of adding flavor to his stories. He's a great storyteller. David's a great storyteller. And we were talking ahead of time. I'm like, dude, you can't just come at people with data. You can't just say data, math, common sense. You can't do that, right? That's what we wanted the message to be, but you can't come out like that, right? So we decided to kind of last minute, like change up the whole thing. And so we wanted to make bullet points about the bridge topics and have David tell a story from his dealing days that sort of cemented the bullet point. And that's how the thing went. So we wanted to talk about gambler's fallacy. He told a story about guys who didn't bet because a random roller showed up. And it was a funny story, right? And that's how we kind of did it. I would then come in and say, now look, here's the real deal on gambler's fallacy, or here's the real deal on what, and I would kind of give the math to back up the story. And I thought it was a pretty good play back and forth. I think we did a really good job. There's things we can adjust with, obviously, right? We can do it better. And we will next time. I think we can shorten it up a little bit. We can do a little more table time. There's lots of cool stuff we can do to make this thing improve. But it was such a great session to be there with David and hang out with the team for a couple of days and, you know, put in basically 2 full days of work at Casino Quest. It was really kind of awesome. I got to participate in a full day dice class with Garrison, by the way. Garrison's actually taking dealer classes over there at CQ, which is really cool. So I had to hang out with him a little bit and kind of watch him go through the chip motions, and we're doing press moves, and it was really cool to watch David teach an actual class, not like he does on TV. So that was super cool. Table report didn't go well. Now, what happened at the tables was this: the first day I didn't play at all. I got there Thursday night late. We had a shit show here in Seattle. My flight was delayed by many hours, and got there super late. Just went to bed basically. Next morning, got up on the way to CQ, did a coffee run. And actually, I played with a guy who was part of the seminar. He was at the seminar. Did okay there, actually. I think I either tied or won $25. It was basically a tie session. I started out with a 9 roller. He had like a 15 roller, but his rolls were weird. He was like a bunch of come out stuff, like horn this, horn that. He hit every box number once and then didn't hit him again. So there was no repeaters, right? And I was doing in that session, I was doing a 64 across double tap. I was going to, press the number and then pull down and then reset. He never hit a number twice. So I made nothing on him. And then 3 PSOs in a row. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. So I think I made money on me, not so much on him, and then lost. And I went to work. So that was kind of a non-day. The seminar day was great. I didn't do a coffee run that day. I did one kind of. Dan and I actually went to breakfast and got to chat for a little bit, which was super cool. And then the day of the gambling, I guess, the day of the seminar, we didn't do a coffee run, but we played with the group afterwards. And that table was a tornado. That table was awful. I lost $500 in about. I only shot once. I mean, I shot one time. The dice never got back to me before I lost it all. It was just like everybody it was literally nothing but either PSOs or the same thing. Hit a number, 7 out. Hit a different number, 7 out. No traction, right? There was no rhythm to that table. Even the horseman, although it worked a couple times for me, wouldn't have been great because there was so much come out action, 7s and 11s. There was enough of that actually that the pass line parlay, that thing paid for me on every single table I played at. We did it at Casino Quest and never worked when I was showing people. It never worked when I was teaching it, but it worked at the table for me every single time. So anyway, whatever. That was fun to see because that happens. But yeah, my don'ts would have got crushed on that. Just not a good session. Not a good session at all. But it's whatever, right? I was there to light that money on fire and hopefully catch a hot roll, but we just didn't sustain it, and that was the end of that. I did do to Leon's question here. Where's Leon's question? He says, "Where is the?" Let's see. Now I can't find it. Leon. Why can't I find your question? Let's see. Where is it? I can't see it. Where the hell is it? I see some. Oh, there it is. What happened to live bubble craps? I wanted to find your question. So what happened to live bubble craps was I did it. I have it on my phone. I suck. I'm going to put the video out. Okay. It's a live stream. Here's what happened. You're supposed to be stealthy, right? So at Palace, the way that Palace is set up is you're sitting there at the bubble machine, and the crapless bubbles are like, it's like the craps machine, yeah, like my hands, like you can see what I'm doing. The craps machines or the craps tables are kind of over in front of you, and over here's the bubbles. And they have a regular set of bubbles and a crapless set of bubbles that are kind of kitty corner to each other. The security desk is right next to it. It's like the security, I could throw a chip and we could play catch with the security guys, right? So I'm trying not to be obvious that I'm filming, but I've never filmed at a table or at a game before. I've never done that. That's not my thing, right? Here I come. Here comes idiot John. Where's my phone? Hold on. I pull my phone out, right? And I'm like, okay. So I got my phone and I press live, right? Live, go, right? And I turn my phone around and it's yelling at me. Like, you can't turn your phone. You got to have, I'm like, freaking portrait. So now my phone's got to be vertical the whole time, which means I can't get to the screen. I'm like, that sucks. All right, let me get my money. And I get my money and I'm like trying to stick it in the slot. And of course I'm putting my money in the ticket slot like a dope, right? And I'm like, oh geez, and I'm moving my phone with me and I'm trying to like do stuff the whole time. Get money in and I'm like, here's my bets. And then I put the phone up here and I press the button and I'm trying to like film the dice. They're bouncing, you can't see them at all. So then I show you the result. Then it's literally me doing this with my phone for 8 minutes. I'm like trying to, and I'm again, you're not supposed to be filming. And the guy's looking at me. I'm sure they're looking at me going, what is this tool doing over here, right? And I'm like literally going, let's go midnight, you know, and it was that. I have it though. I do have the video. And what happened was when I did it, when I pushed it out there, I made it unlisted. I didn't even do it live. So there was no chats. I did it, it's a live stream, but it says unlisted. So nobody got to see it. I got to go press the button today and make it a listed video. Spoiler alert, it's 8 minutes long and I win. Right? It's the only real win I had all weekend. I won $50. I put $100 in, I won 50, and I got the hell out of there on that bubble machine. There's a little bit of DJing came out during it. I made my $50, and I'm like, I don't want to keep. They were still rolling, and I'm like, what the hell? Let's just do it. So anyway, it's there. The video's there. I'll push it out later on today. Judge me all you want. It's such a rookie performance. It's like literally. I forgot to buy the bets. I forgot to buy the extremes. I just placed them, didn't buy them because I'm a dumbass. I just pressed the across button. I thought it was going to do it for me. So I didn't buy the extremes. I put the money in the wrong spot. It's a shit show. But you know what? It's my shit show and I'm okay with that. Anyway, I'll put it out there. Yeah, need the selfie stick with the tripod. And I need, like I said, I've never done a live from a table. I have no idea what the technology is for that. You should have seen me. It was like Beavis and Butthead go to the casino. Literally, like, you know, like, oh God, so stupid. Anyway, that was my bubble craps thing. I'll put the video up. I forgot to mention though too. I put 10 ton as number one, and I got to call Dan out too, because Dice Dr. Dan and I had a great breakfast and we had a great chat. He gave me a really nice present, by the way. And that was awesome to hang out with Dan. Just, you know, I love one-on-one time, right? So Dan and I had a great one-on-one. It was super fun. I went to Fran's house on Friday night. Instead of playing, I went and hung out with 10 ton. And we talked for, he's probably watching, we talked for probably 4 hours. I got there at like 9:30, something like that. And I left at like almost 2 in the morning, right? We just talked. We were sitting there bullshitting. We threw a little bit of dice on his table, but that dude is my favorite, man. I love that guy. He's, we literally are our hive mind, man. He and I just have the same brain. He's like, hey, dude, check out my coffee table book, right? I turn my head and I look at his coffee table book, and it's literally this book that I saw. I don't know where I saw this book, but I was like, we do a what do you call it? A white elephant for Christmas over here. And so we do a white elephant for Christmas, and I was gonna buy this book for the white elephant, but it was too much money because we had a cap on it. But it's called The Book, and basically it's like a set of hand-drawn pictures. It looks like Leonardo da Vinci style imagery, but it's how to rebuild society. It's like how does the steam engine work? How does gas engine work? How do factories work? How does electricity work? All, like, if you watch The Walking Dead, it's like the manual to rebuild society that The Walking Dead would have used. And I'm like, I almost bought that book. And I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, like he's like, dude, I saw the ad, I had to buy the book. I'm like, me too. He's just like, he and I are like, just literally like, it's like a bromance. I mean, it's like, I love him so much. He's such a great, fun guy. And and although we come at it from different bankroll levels, right? We're both super conservative, and we just have a good time talking about, like today, leverage play and that kind of thing. It was fantastic. So I had a great time with him, even though the next day I lost money on the tables. Overall, amazing. The seminar was awesome. The people we met were awesome. I saw somebody in chat say, John, it was good to meet you there. We had such a good time there. You know what I mean? And like, you forget like the levels everybody's at, you know what I mean? And it's just so good to kind of just get questions and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. Let's really, because sometimes you assume, because I say the same shit every day on my shows, that everybody knows what I'm thinking. And people that were there never met me before. And it's like, oh, that's right. I got to re-explain some of this stuff, right? And then you get a chance to reconnect. It was just so cool to be at the tables with everybody and all that. So anyway, other things to talk about today. I have some points up here. Craps Chat. If you saw it last night, I hope you enjoyed it. That was a really fun show. I made a couple of mistakes along the way. I always like to pick myself apart, right? Made a couple here. Jen reminded me that my keyboard was loud when I'm typing stuff. I would normally be on mute. Normally I'm muted during that show because I don't participate. I let the panel participate. I'm just typing, right? Last night I was a contributor in the show, so I had to type and talk and think, and I wasn't thinking about muting. The little mute button is so tiny anyway, I wouldn't have been able to click it fast enough to go back and forth. I need to program a bigger button to do like a keyboard shortcut for it. I will do that next time if I'm on it. But it was a good show. Please go back and rewatch it. I thought that the panel was great. A little bit of disagreement, lively discussion. It was all good. And the topic was great. We talked about leverage, which we'll talk about here in a minute. One thing that came up, and I want to make sure we call this out, is Crapsy. For real. Duracell8, he's in the chat today. I'll actually going to pass the mic to you a little bit in the chat. So go ahead, Duracell, and talk through this a little bit. All right. Crapsy's a thing that we all love, right? Jeff does lives all the time. Craig was doing lives all the time. I do it a little bit. Joe's on live. George CY is doing lives. And what happens is people aren't using Crapsy as a tool. They're using it as an ego boost, right? They're just kind of hopping everything like crazy people, and like nobody's playing Crapsy the way you play in a real casino. The magic of that tool, I think, is to use it. You got people shooting dice, right? It's not an RNG. It's people shooting dice, right? There's no computer to blame for being, rigged or whatever. It's people shooting dice. You should be able to buy in for your real buy-in, play your real way against me and Joe and George and Jeff and Craig and whoever else is playing, really throwing the dice. That's the point of the tool, is that, right? And find out what's working against real dice rolls. Not, can I be on the top of the leaderboard so Jeff puts my name up and says my name out loud? That, or Brian does that too, right? Is that the reason why you're playing it? And that's the wrong reason. In my opinion, Duracell's opinion, most people, that's the wrong reason to play Crapsy. Use it for good. Now, what I did, if you go to Discord, and all you got to do to go to Discord is here. Let me go to this screen here. I don't know if I have Discord on my computer, but if you go to the Casino Gaming TV website, in the community tab, you'll hear join our Discord community. I think, let me just look if I have Discord on this. I don't think it's on this computer. It's not. Is it on this computer? Discord. I don't think I have the app installed on this one. I don't. I'll show it to you tomorrow. There's a channel in Discord that I've created called Crapsy Trip Report in Discord. What I'd love to have you do is go to every day when you play on Craig or Jeff or whatever you're playing on, come back to our Discord in the Crapsy Trip Report thing and put in your starting bankroll, your ending bankroll, and how you played. Win, lose, or draw. I played Skill 66. I played the squeeze play. I did the horseman. I did whatever with Craig, and I won X. Right? That's it. If you put that in there, people like me and Duracell and others are going to look at that and go, okay, here's what's been working, right? If you guys are putting out, I did squeeze play, and you play squeeze play, and every single person in the community, and you're getting your ass kicked, guess what we can talk about? How the squeeze play gets your ass kicked, right? That's a good thing to know. Jen's making a good point, right? It's like, it's good to practice tournament play, which is a different, aggressive, crazy person's play. 100% agree with that, Jen. 99% of us aren't playing in tournaments though. We're playing at tables. Right? It's good to practice your way at a table. So use that trip report channel, right? We'll moderate it. We'll look at it once or every so often. We'll collate the results and kind of talk through what's working on Crapsy. Again, if it's live rolls, right? It's real people throwing real dice, and that's a good simulation of the casino. Jeff, in fact, just hucks and chucks sometimes, right? It's perfect. Use it for what it's meant for. All right. We're going to talk about leverage here in a minute, and then I have a quick daily dose of DI for you, and we'll see about what else is on tap. So let's get forward here, and I want to bring this back to you. We have talked about this for months, right? My way of thinking about the game, right? I start with goals, right? What is your goal? What goals are the North Star, right? We then talk about strategy, how you play, the way that you play. Strategy is nothing more than what are you betting on, how much are you betting, and how do you handle your wins, right? All those three things together make a strategy. Call them what you want to, but that's what strategic play is, right? That's the way that you decide you want to win. I want to use this method to win my goal. Then you got your bankroll that says, okay, well, if you're not going to hit your goal, because you won't always do it, how do you handle your losses, right? Today's a good example. I got whacked. My bankroll didn't help me today. My bankroll today hurt me, right? I didn't have it, right? Whatever. But the bankroll accounts for your losses, right? How much loss can you sustain? Your mindset is connecting all that together, and discipline is how you execute. David talked a lot about this at the bridge. Discipline is not just leaving early when you win. A lot of people confuse this. I say this a lot too, right? Discipline is when I get my win goal, I stop playing, right? Or hit my win goal and play with what's left over, right? That's disciplined play. It means leaving when you're up. It also means sticking to the plan. A big part of the bridge is planning, right? So the bridge seminar, right? David has his own way. Casino Quest has their own way of saying a lot of the same things that I've been telling you for months and months and months. They frame it this way. And I think the two combined is really kind of the secret butter here. Not the secret butter to winning. There is no secret butter to winning. It's the secret butter, the secret sauce, if you will, to have the best possible experience and have the best chance of hitting your goals. They start with bankroll. What is the bankroll? The B in bridge is bankroll. What are you bringing, right? I add flavor to that. Where does it come from, right? Whatever if your bankroll is $1,000, that's fine. Did your $1,000 come out of your paycheck, your actual paycheck? Did it come out of your joint savings account that you and your wife were saving up, or you and your husband were saving up to, whatever, go out to dinner this week? Did you pull money out of that account, or do you have money like I do set aside just for this, right? Where did it come from? How much do you have? Part of that is identifying what your risk appetite is, right? And again, we talked about last night, risk aversion, risk appetite. What is your taste for that money, right? And one of the questions that we ask, the bridge is a big giant questionnaire. We ask you questions like, if you lost that bankroll, how would you feel? And it sounds like a dumb question, but would you be like, well, I expected to lose it? Would you be like, it would suck, but I knew it was a possibility? Would you be angry about it, right? Or would you be like really worried about it? Because being mad about it and worried about it are two different things, right? We start identifying the bankroll thing. That's the bridge, right? We identify opportunity. Again, you're up a little bit, right? That up a little bit, that extra money presents an opportunity to use leverage. Casino wins, your profits, to make the hammer, right? A lot of players don't identify that early enough, right? Or don't put themselves in a position early enough to capitalize on that. That was the message, right? People think David and the dealers are crazy people. They're always pressing to the ceiling, right? That's not the message. The message is get to a point where you've identified your ability to leverage your bankroll or your wins to take advantage of opportunity, and being okay with that. And again, your risk appetite or aversion will tell you how you're going to approach that moment. Are you going to be a half presser, a single presser, or a power presser, right? That's an interesting way to think about it. And again, we're trying to frame you to identify that in yourself, right? Choosing the right casino. He spent a lot of time talking about which casinos have the best rules for you. What are the best rules for you, right? 15-2-1, not 15-4-1 on the craps table, right? Single zero, double zero, not triple or quad zero roulette, which is becoming a thing, right? 3-2 blackjack where the dealer hits on all 17s or stands on all 17s. Finding the opportunity that, not even opportunity, but the house edge where they're not screwing you, right? Find the games, find the casinos that have the tables you like. This came up last night in Craps Chat too. What's your favorite table in Vegas? Well, that depends on a lot of things, right? Depends on the dealer crew. Do you like the crew? I would rather lose money with Sally and Fred than lose money with Jimmy and Susie. I like that crew. I don't like this crew. I'd rather give them my money. If I'm going to lose and tip my way out the door, let's let them have it, right? Some people choose a table based on the length, the hardness, whatever. Everybody's is different. I really like, honestly, the tables at Caesars. I've played there a few times. I love the Caesars Craps Pit. It's a great place to play. The environment's awesome. The dealers are fan-freaking-tastic there. The tables are hard surface. They have the repeater bet and the ATS. In some cases, they had the fire bet too. It's got all the side bets you love. They got great crew. It's $25 minimum, so you got to adjust a little bit perhaps, but it's a great place to play. I really do like Palace. I like their tables. They're short. The dealers there are new for the most part, but I play in the morning, so doesn't impact me that much. And to me, talking to the crew in the pit as they're because they kind of train them in the moment there. I enjoy that experience. Anyway, that's that. David talked a lot about financial goals and experiential goals. Coming to Vegas, I want to have a good experience. So a lot of the CQ bridge is about not just your, play and squeeze play for X amount of dollars. It's about the experience. Where do you want to play? How do you want it to feel? Who's your host? That kind of thing. And finally, it's your emotional control, right? What kind of EQ do you have? And I think that's a big piece. We spent a lot of time. And again, if you come to a seminar, the next seminar is going to be, I lost my mouse here. The next seminar is going to be, I think, February 22nd. Come on out to that. It's a big, Dan will tell you, it's a big questionnaire. And at the end of it, you get a score. And it says, here is your risk profile. Based on your risk profile, here's the games that would work best for you. Here's the strategies in those games that fit you. It's our attempt to kind of bring it all together. It's fantastic. So I'll show this slide every so often during the shows coming up to remind you of all the things I taught on this stuff for 96 or so episodes we did on Gambling 101. But we went through all that stuff. Those videos are coming out, by the way. We spent 8 hours at Casino Quest talking about it in this format. You should come. It's so fantastic to be there with the crew. They just add so much to everything. All right. With that said, we'll do this tomorrow. I gotta put today's loss in there, but you can see our profit and loss was $6,400. We just got burned for a few $1,000s. I gotta update the numbers. Tomorrow will be 11-4, profit about $1,000 or so, roughly. It's gonna change things. We have to change a little bit. But I do want to talk with you about leverage. We talked about this last night, and today's a great day. Today's a great day where this talk is going to fall on its face because of what I experienced this morning, but I think that it still kind of holds true, okay? Leverage is this idea of using your wins to play. And what I really should have on here is using your bankroll and your wins to play. If you've got a large bankroll, like I do here, the $5,000, right? We leverage the bankroll, right? I use the bankroll for all of it. I'm not going to be here for 10 $500 cracks at this thing. I'm really here for two $2,000 cracks at this thing. I'm going to leverage my bankroll to make bigger bets so that my wins are bigger, so I need less of them. That's one way of looking at this, right? That is your sort of hammer play, right? You can look at leverage as a way to build up, right? Go 640 across. At a $5,000 level, go 640 across, right? And build your bets up using your wins to press to make your next wins more powerful, right? Going from 30 to 60 on a 6, for example, means your next win is $70. 70 plus your original $35 win, you're up $100, right? You leverage your win. You're up 100 instead of being up 70. That's a huge way of thinking about it. Regression is also a way to leverage, right? Dallas Drawdown leverages by going in reverse, right? Take a big chunk of money out there, take a hit, come down on your bets and use the win only and play with leverage, right? In financial world, this is how guys make money. Guys and gals in the financial world make money leveraging their wins. Sometimes they leverage loans. We'll talk about that so much, right? But leveraging money that's not yours is how you make money. right? Nobody in the investment world does the same bet. They don't take a 10% win on a stock and put this 10% in savings and leave their same money out there for the next day. No, the 10% goes back in again. And their next 10% is off of the combined win, right? That's how these guys do it. I was telling the story the other day. You know, I like to tell you all that I'm a lifetime winner at gambling because not because I'm a great gambler, right? I've gotten really lucky a couple times. I got some massive wins in my belt, which really built the bankroll up, right? Which is great. I got money in my account that's 25 years old, right? I've been playing on the profits from 10, 15 years ago, right? That's still money that I'm using, right? To play with. I don't like to dip into my old money if I don't have to, right? When I do side projects, some of that goes in there too. I'm working on money that wasn't the original. That's leveraging it, right? That's how you can afford bigger bites. Let me show you something, okay? I'm going to go to the table here. I think I've got a screen here that will let me, can I do a table? Let me see. I think I can do a table with Keynote. Let's see if this works. There it is. Oh, look at that. Let's put the light on. Where's my light? Where's my light button? Boom. How's that? All right. Let's move this out of the way. And let's actually do a couple things here. My phone out, my phone from my goofy demonstration out of the way. And let's look at leverage. And again, Brian Holy Roller did a video on this. It was kind of the subject from last night. Here's my big loss from the other day, from this morning rather. Let's take all this down. I'll slide this over here. This table, the chips don't slide on the felt. All right, let's do a simple bet. I'm going to do 160 across, and it may be big for some people, but this bet is easy to deal. So I'm going to go 160 across, like so. And I will be turning around and looking at the at your chats as I can. So here's a couple of examples of this, right? One way to build your bets up, we'll say, right? We can build our bets up from a small, quote unquote, small base. Let's take a win on a 6, let's say $35, right? Building your bets up from this point can happen in a lot of ways, okay? You can take the $35, let's take it as all quarters, or all nickels rather, right? And you can spread it out, right? Let's give some to the 5, we'll give some to the 9, we'll give, you know, some to the 4 and the 10, we'll keep a nickel for ourselves, right? Leverage your win so the next win is bigger. Let's say the 6 hits again for $35. You might take this nickel that you got from the first win and say, here's $1, right? Which makes that win look like $36. And let's give the 6 and the 8 $18 each. And now you've leveraged 2 successive wins. Every bet is bigger than it was before. And on the third roll, 5 pays, let's say 50 for 1 on that 5, you come down. Bring all that money back to your rack, right? And at this point, you'll be basically even, right? You've taken your wins, increased the size of your bets that are out there. There's 50, there's 100, there's 110, there's 120, okay? You're almost out of the hand in that style of play, right? But you've leveraged casino wins. You're playing now at a strong level. 90% of that is on a leveraged win. You're taking your win and making the play. This is what Brian was talking about. Brian from Holy Roller was actually saying more like this, like he was actually going a little higher, right? In his example, he did this. He did 35, 35, 42 on the 6 and 8, right? 154 inside, no 4 and 10, right? He did just an inside play. And in his video, the idea was, let's go out big. Let's buy in for $1,000 or more and leverage our bankroll. We can afford at a $1,500 buy-in to go 154 across. All of these things pay $49. There's 45, there's 49. They all pay $49, okay? Which is 44, there's 44 inside. You pull your money back down, you have 5 in profit, and you're playing 44 inside, right? That's one way of leveraging your money, right? Your bigger bankroll to get a $44 play in one roll. That's a regression system. That's a one shot to hammer. Another way to do it though is to build up and down, right? That's not a builder. That's coming out high and doing it, right? The skill and luck way, as you all know, the skill 66 works like this. We'll put 15. I gotta spread the money. Give me a second to get this money spread back out again. There is 15. The skill 66 starts out small. low initial, right? Skill and luck, Dylan, his risk appetite is very low. He has almost zero risk appetite, none, right? The skill 66 is this, low investment. Same numbers, same coverage, but we're on the first hit, Brian is out and playing 44. Skill and luck, we'll get paid $21 on an inside hit. Press all the numbers by 1 unit each, right? Like so. Take another hit for $28 and bring down his bets to 44 inside. Like so. And what he's done is he's gotten 10, 20, there's 25, 50, 65, $67 and $5 in profit. Both players have $5 in profit. Both players are at 44 inside. One player leveraged bankroll to get there quicker. One player leveraged casino money to get there. They used the press to use casino money or profit, leveraging that to get to the same spot. Sacrifice was time. He sacrificed needing 2 rolls, 2 hits instead of 1. Again, using leverage to make it happen. Now, here's an interesting way to look at this, and here's the third way that I would suggest using leverage. Now, again, this is just a suggestion. It's an idea. It's not the way that I think you have to do this, so do not quote me on this. But here's the financial markets way of looking at it, okay? Let's go here. Let's go back to 160. Let's say I am willing to risk 160 to try and win $200, let's say. Okay, let's say I'm willing to risk 160 to win whatever the number is. Let's just make it 500 or something, right? Let's make a bigger goal. Okay, let's assume we get a few hits in here, and let's just same bet it. We'll just same bet it. Let's get a hit on the 5. Let's get a hit on the 4. We'll do 50 for 1 on the 4. There's 4 change. Okay, let's get a hit on the 8. And again, I'm just simulating an okay kind of session. Okay, let's get a hit on the 9. Let's get a second hit on the 4, 50 for 1. Okay, there, and then we 7 out. Then we 7 out. Okay, bummer, we 7 out. We lose the 160. Okay. Now remember, I was willing to risk 160. That was my stated risk allowance, right? What do I have here? I got 100. I got 150. I got $160. I got my money back plus some extra, right? Leverage means the next shooter, right, could be this. Right? 2 aces to manage your bankroll. Go back out at 160. Cool. I'm going to pocket some money. I made $43 on that shooter. Booyah. Profit central. I do that 5 more times. I'm out of this casino, right? If you want to think about using a leveraged play though, check this out, right? You can say, look, I won that like the investment team does and says, I'm going to put that back in action. Guess what? 35 here. 35 here. Those bets now pay $50, right? I'll take $12 on the 6. I'll take $11. I'll need to drop power press. I guess drop $1, make it even on the 8. Now everything is paying $50. It's all 204 across, right? This $42 pays 50. Guess what? Every bet now pays 50, not 35, right? So I'm leveraging same risk, right? You could have said, John went out there with 0 risk and kept profit. John's saying, no, I'm going to go out there with the same risk and use that full profit to beat this thing up, okay? In fact, if you really want to get crazy with it, think about it like this. On that shooter, you ready for this one? Stay with me. On that shooter, we had made what, 160? 150, we made 160 plus the 40 whatever dollars, right? If you really want to try a leveraged play, say, look, I'm going to go back out there at 320. Why 320? Why 320, you all say, because you're a crazy person. No, I was going to risk 160 anyway. I'm putting out the 160 from my second shooter that I was going to risk anyway, plus the 160 that I just got back and this profit. So guess what? Another 10, another 10, another 12, another 12. I'm going to go back out there for all of what I took off that table on the previous shooter. Put the 160 I was going to risk on shooter 2 anyway. Put the 160 that I got back end my profit. Shooter 2 now looks like 320 across with extra spiff on the insides here. I've got $60 over in here. I've got 72 bucks over here, right? Think about that as a leverage play, right? So put all of it back out, right? Bigger bets on that next one. This is the Jacob from Rage Me This way of thinking about it, right? Leveraging the entirety of the win, right? Shooter 1 was 160. Shooter 1 generated 212 bucks. Shooter number 2 goes out 160 plus the full 212. That's what you're seeing here, right? These now pay way extra. Now watch, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it as a 10. I'm gonna throw a 7 right away and burn it all. There's an 8, right? So 72 on the 8, right? What do we get here? We're getting paid 70 for the 60, and we're getting paid 14 on that, right? $84, 85 for one. On one hit, at 160, that same roll is worth $35, right? This is an $85 win right here. This is $85 win, 85 for one on that win. That same bet there. I can same bet twice. Well, of course I throw a 7, right? I could same bet twice, right? Let's pretend the 7 doesn't happen, right? I'm gonna roll 5 7s down in a row. The 9, right? Also 60 pays $85. We'll pay 85 for one, right? But you're pulling back $150. And if you went back and took it all back on that roll, right? All of it now is profit, because remember the initial 160, besides the 160, so 150, 160, besides the initial shooter 2's 160, everything out here is what you pull off, spread it all out so you can enjoy it. All that comes off of those 2 shooters, right? You leverage all of it, right? Interesting way to do it. If you've got the bankroll to back it, right? Let's go back over to the other screen. If you've got the bankroll to support that kind of play, that's a move you can make. Let me come back over here again. I'm gonna come back, you can see my pretty face. Repeat that. If you have the bankroll to sustain that, right? My initial risk is 160. That generated 160 and 40, right? My next shooter, I still put 160 out and I put all of that, the extra 160 plus the 40. Boom, boom, 2 hits and you're completely out of that. You're out of the casino in 2 hits on that second one because you leveraged it all, right? That only works if you can sustain it, right? If you've got the risk appetite to do that, right? If you don't have the risk appetite to do that, you do a build. You do a skill 66. I have a low appetite for risk. Smaller size bets, tiny press, use some casino money as leverage, and then come back out of the whole thing, right? If you've got this other aversion to risk, you don't want to do what I just did, use the Brian method. Go out a little higher, take 1 hit that pays for your next spread. At my local casino here, we have $5 tables, right? 160 across for 1 hit. I can sustain 160 all day long, right? I can do, buying for $1,000, do 160 across, get $35, and I'm 32 across, right? 1 hit and play, 1 hit and play. If you can afford to do it, find the table that fits you to do that, right? I think that's an interesting thing. Duracell says it works till it doesn't. 100%, everything works till it doesn't, right? All of these things work until they don't. That's the thing, right? What I'm trying to do is find ways to say, look, the less time I can spend here, the better, right? And if the first shooter got me halfway to my goal, the second shooter is going to be a whole lot bigger, so I can take 1 less or 2 less hits and get to that goal. That's the idea, right? Leverage the win to spend less time. And again, it's always this, like a, what am I thinking of? It's like a marionette, like puppet strings, right? You can't have them all the same length ever, right? There's an old saying, actually, this is a funny thing. Let's use this as our equation. There's an old saying in programming, and maybe in other industries too, we say you can have it cheap, you can have it right, or you can have it fast, but you can't have all 3, right? And that's true of probably most things, right? You can have things cheap, you can have them done perfectly, or you can have it fast, but you ain't getting all 3, right? You can't have it fast, cheap, and done right. Something's going to be sacrificed there. Right? This is the same thing, right? You can't get it all. You can't have the perfect play. You got to choose your poison. Do you want to be here for less time, less number of hits? You want to be here for less money, right? Or less risk to what's going to happen bad to you, right? You can't have all 3. You can't cover all the bases. You can't only do it in 1 hit, and you can't do it for cheap. You got to pick your way. You got to find your formula in that Venn diagram, so to speak, right? So think about it. I'm not giving you the answer here. Like I never give you the answer. I give you to think about it. Think about the ways you would enjoy doing it from an adrenaline rush, from a risk appetite standpoint, from a how's my bankroll support me standpoint, right? Your bankroll may only support the skill 66 because you've got to come in low. Your bankroll may support one hit and down. Your bankroll may support sustained loss, sustained loss, sustained loss with a hammer size win using leverage like that. You got to make that call. That's coming from here. That's coming from here. That's coming from your pocketbook. And I want you to think through that. All right. So there's all of that. Now, what I'd love to see, by the way, get some questions lined up for me. I'm going to go to Daily Dose of DI here, and then we'll do a little bit of Q&A at the end, and we'll call it a show. But let's go to DI really quick. And again, put Q's in front of your questions or PCs. I'll check for them in a minute here. Question about DI is this, and this came up in the seminar. It comes up all the time. Can and how do you adjust? Can you adjust and how, right? And the answer to this question is kind of nuanced because you really can't. In most situations, you can't. And I think most people would agree with, I hope they would agree with this. But I want you to think about it. If you're a real DI, if you're like really working through this process and you think you can throw, this probably shouldn't come as a surprise to you, but you shouldn't play with people, right? You should be endeavoring to do not what I did today, because I PSO'd myself, right? But work your own toss as often as you can, right? The bane of your existence is the table being full, right? Like Saturday night, good example, right? I went out there, I was on stick right, stick left had the dice. So it goes, 6 guys around, 7 guys, 8 guys, 9 guys, me. I get to shoot. Had an okay little thing. Boom, boom, boom. It goes around again, right? Another 9 guys before it would have been my turn. I burned my bankroll before it got to me the second time. You can't survive that. If you're a DI and you're like, oh, I see what happened. I threw the dice and this happened. And I can make that adjustment. Well, guess what? It might be an hour and a half for that adjustment. You can get a chance to make it. You can't do it. My better times are in the mornings when it's just me or me and one other person. And it's, back and forth, back and forth. I get the dice right away, make a set change and do my thing. That's how you do it. This morning, of course, I tried to make an adjustment and I effed myself and got the 2 PSOs there. So don't take my, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. But that's how you adjust. You adjust when you give yourself a chance to. You cannot adjust in a real table. You just can't. There's too many freaking people there, right? How do you adjust to different table conditions? You simulate them. And you can't be perfect, but you can put neoprene on your table. You can have your different underlayments. You can try different things at home. You can shoot from farther away. I shoot from the end all the time here. I shoot from the hook, trying to simulate different distances because a longer distance feels like a bouncy table. You got to throw it harder, right? To get it there so you can make yourself have to struggle. It's all about the practice, right? Practice for what you think you're going to see. When you see it, you go, I think last Tuesday I tried that and this kind of worked. You can try it. Trust me, adjustments are really hard. And unless you're doing something simple, and by simple, I mean this. I mean literally this, right? This is what I should have done at the crowded table. And by the way, this worked. This totally worked. The pass line parlay 100% worked, right? There it is. There's my $10 pass line bet. If you're at a crowded table and all you want to do is shoot and bet on yourself, a lot of guys say, I only bet on myself. Okay, then only bet on yourself. Do this. Do the pass line parlay. It won, stack it for 20. Next win is 20, stack it. That's a $40 win, right? $40 bet. The next bet, I dare you, stack it again. Now you have $80 out there, all right? And take the 4th win at $80. Do that, right? I'll give 9 shooters $10 while I'm waiting for my turn. No problem doing that. I saw this exact play, and there's $75 for these reds, right? I did this literally every table that I was at this weekend. This worked. There's my $10. There's $150. I pulled that move off on every single table, at least once. In one case, twice. That works. It's boring. You're going to miss out on rolls, but you're going to survive till it's your turn, right? to answer the question, can you adjust? No, if you don't give yourself a chance to. If you think you can actually adjust, give yourself a chance to adjust by doing something simple and cheap and affording your chance to bet on yourself, if that's important to you. If that's not important to you, if you're not a believer, or if you're just like, I believe in myself, but I also think anybody else could have a good role too. I'm not a Randy hater. If I believe that, right, then bet that way, right? Why is my alarm going off? Hold on a second here. What is happening upstairs? Hang on a second. My alarm's going off, guys. I gotta run upstairs. I'm gonna end the show. My house alarm just went off. I'm gonna go see what's going on. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Oh, there, Kathy has turned it off. Hold on. What the hell happened? What is going on up there? I bet you somebody's got the wrong code putting it. All right, I'm gonna go upstairs and deal with this. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. God bless. Bye. What is going on?